market today for May 29th, 2025, last day of the month. And it was a green day overall, but not dramatic. Yesterday was down about 0.5% on the major indices. Today was up about 0.25% on average. Dow was up about 28 basis points. NASDAQ up 21. The S&P, the strongest, up about 40 basis points there. And really the strongest name was NVIDIA up 3.25 on the earnings, but not a big move, positive, but nothing crazy considering earnings were announced. So you continue to see a market that is indecisive around this 5,900 level. We close at 5,912 on the S&P, and there's not a breakout above the 6,000. There's not a breakdown below 5,700. It's just in this kind of no man's land right now. On the economic front, it was pretty interesting. We did have a low court basically throw out the Trump tariffs, saying that they can't have these 10% tariffs with the rest of the world because there's no emergency. Now that has been immediately appealed, and that will go through some sort of a process, probably go to the Supreme Court. Now, what he could pivot to are what he calls sectoral tariffs, where, because of X, Y, and Z, this sector has this tariff on it and this sector has that tariff. That could be the pivot. I think he's going to continue forward with tariffs and work around the constraints of the system. But clearly this throws a little bit more uncertainty into the tariff department. And so, market doesn't like uncertainty, and the economy doesn't like uncertainty either. Now, like I said, the NVIDIA had pretty good earnings. It was up a little bit, but nothing really market shaking, market moving. You did have some economic news. GDP came in at negative 0.2% quarter over quarter. That was revised up from, I believe, somewhere around negative 0.9% or something like that. Consensus was negative 0.3%, so it was a bit better than expected. PCE consumption, that was up 1.2%, below the 1.7% consensus and below the 1.8% prior reading. So this is a pretty good indicator of where people are spending or how much people are spending. Spending is slowing to a degree. So something to watch out for. And the weekly data on initial and continuous jobless claims was definitely of note. Something that the market, CNBC, Bloomberg, nobody was really talking about it today, but I did think it was important. Initial claims came in at 240,000. That was the highest level we have seen in a while. Let me pull this up here. It is the highest level that we have seen since February, late February. And, it is threatening a potential breakout, especially the continuous claims, which that's what I always focus on a lot more. The initial claims, that can be kind of noisy, but how many people are continuing to take their unemployment benefits and not find a job? That broke to a new high, 1.92 million people, to a 3-year high here. So it's starting to look like the labor market is taking a step lower in strength, weakness, however you want to say it. It's not getting better. Okay, so the now kind of 4-week trend is higher in a lot of these numbers, and that is telling you that these tariff announcements are having an impact on the broader labor market. So something to watch out for and to consider as we go forward. And obviously, if the labor market breaks, that's going to snowball on itself. April pending home sales, that also came in disappointing. 6.3% fall month over month. The consensus expectation was only a fall of 1%. And the prior month gain was 6.1%. So pretty basically reversed all of that gain kind of month over month. And it shows you the labor market does continue to be weak. Now, across the other assets, you had treasuries a bit stronger. So you had rates down. Obviously, that kind of quells a lot of the worries around the treasury market dysfunction, et cetera, at least for now. The 7-year treasury auction was well received, so not a whole lot of issues on that front. Dollar index, that was down 0.5%, so you continue to see general weakness in the dollar. That pushed gold up about 0.6%. Bitcoin, though, Bitcoin down 1.1%, and it continues to hang around this 106, 107 level, which is threatening to break below those previous highs. And as I said before, if it breaks 100, that could be a kind of canary in the coal mine of liquidity, as well as the broader market. So I'm certainly watching that. It's hanging in there, not something to react to quite yet, but certainly I'm on watch for, a breakout, getting to the 120s. That's what really needs to happen with Bitcoin for this breakout to all-time highs to really hold. And it's not really doing that right now. And if it fails, that will be very interesting and of note, and could be an indicator of where liquidity is headed in the shorter term. WTI settled down 1.5%. So you did have, oil was strong yesterday. I did give it back today. So you continue in this choppy range in the oil market. So a positive day, but still remain in kind of no man's land. And it's not really telling us one way or the other which way we are headed quite yet. But we know this is a market with a lot of headline news. And one of these days we'll break out of this zone and we'll have a little more clarity on where the market is likely headed through Q2 and into the back half of the year.